Hello fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and oh my lord have mercy. On top of having some NES games, some Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games, apparently, on the Switch apparently the Switch will also include some GameCube games, and oh my lord, yes! It is really good to be a Nintendo fan. Partially out of nostalgia. I've played the Game Boy. I played the Game Boy Advance. I also had owned a GameCube for a while. Even a Nintendo Wii. Or I guess the Wii's under Nintendo. Duh. Don't even say Nintendo. But I even had a Wii that can play GameCube games. I still have a very few GameCube games to this day. And oh my lord. Just the fact that we're going to get GameCube games on the Switch, yes, please. Now, keep in mind this article was published on the 18th of this month. But oh my lord, I am so excited. So let's give this a read, shall we? This article is titled "All the GameCube Games on the Nintendo Switch." So, during its time on the market, the Nintendo GameCube was criminally underrated. The console played host to a number of terrific games, but struggled against the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. See, at the time, let's be real, at the time, I'm not saying that current gens don't have this, but at the time, like, PlayStation 2, Xbox had some pretty good games that gave the GameCube some competition. Let's be real. But, man, I miss, this kind of bring me back to my, the days when I was a little kid just playing the PlayStation 2, my Game Boy Advance, and especially my Wii and GameCube. Oh, my lord. Taking me back to my childhood right now. Anyways, and we haven't even gotten to the part where it says which games are going to be on the Switch from the GameCube. Anyways, more than 20 years after its release, the system has gained much greater appreciation. Several of the best games of the system has found their way to the Nintendo Switch. The number available on the system was much smaller prior to this year. But 2023 has several GameCube games made available again, including Metroid Prime, Pikmin, and Tales of the Symphonia. I played Pikmin on the GameCube. I played Pikmin and Animal Crossing, and both games were fun. Pikmin, was one of those games where me and my brother back in the day played a fair amount, and oh my lord, let me tell you, Pikmin is, I love Pikmin. It's a great game. If you guys haven't played it, I do highly recommend playing it. I was just in a stream where I was saying that I'm somewhat surprised that they're still making Pikmin games, because I played the original Pikmin, and I remember hearing about Pikmin 2, right? I don't remember hearing, I don't think I really paid attention to the Switch, the Nintendo for a while, because I was on Team PlayStation for a while, right? So I don't think I, really paid attention to Nintendo that much, so I don't remember hearing anything about Pikmin 3, but I guess part of the reason why I'm so, shocked that Pikmin is still going on to this day. Happy, but surprised. The list features all the GameCube games currently available on Switch, as well as some that will release before the end of the year. While GameCube representation is the best it's ever been on the Switch, there are still a lot of games that remain stranded on the former system, including The Eternal Darkness, Entity's Requiem, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, and Paper Mario: The Thousand Years Door. hopefully Nintendo and other publishers will not make a great effort to rectify that. Wait, hopefully Nintendo and other publishers will make a great effort to rectify that. I misread that, sorry. As the current list of games currently isn't enough. Keep reading to see all the GameCube games on the Switch. So first off, we're getting Metroid Prime, which was released in 2002. So I guess 21 years ago. When Metroid Prime released on the GameCube in 2002, fans of the Metroid series felt a bit of apprehension. The game abandoned the 2D formula that made Super Metroid a hit, replacing it with a first-person perspective. Thankfully, developer Retro Studios stuck the landing in a big way, offering one of the very best titles of the system. An HD remaster of the game got a surprise release during Nintendo Direct in early 2023, offering a faithful take on the original with a handheld improvement. Okay. Now we're getting Resident Evil 0, and Resident Evil 4. So, apparently it was released from 2002 to 2005. Capcom was one of the biggest early supporters of the GameCube, and the Resident Evil series saw a lot of support of the platform. Things started in 2002 with a breathtaking remake of the original game in the series, while a brand new game, Resident Evil 0, released later the same year. In 2005, Resident Evil 4 would debut on the system, initially as exclusive. The game is often considered one of the very best on the GameCube, and all three titles have been brought over to the Nintendo Switch with some minor improvements, including HD visuals. Okay. And looking like a good list so far. The next game is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronic. I don't remember which game though, but it's probably Crystal Chronic. I don't remember. But I used to play Final Fantasy a lot with my brother as a kid. It was a GameCube game. It probably was Crystal Chronicles. I remember having been blessed with my brother. Now, I've always been mostly a Kingdom Hearts fan, but I always respected Final Fantasy, even though I never got into it personally as a hardcore fan. I do respect the Final Fantasy series. I'll give them that. You guys, you fans, that. So Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was originally released in 2005. After a bitter feud during the N64 era, Nintendo and Square began to patch things up following the release of the GameCube. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles marked the franchise's return to Nintendo systems. That is greatly differed from the traditional turn-based gameplay the series was known for. Instead, Crystal Chronicles offered four-player local co-op that required the use of the Game Boy Advance handheld, as well as the linked cables. The requirements was expensive and a bit hard to pull off, but Square Enix brought the game to Switch and other platforms in 2020, offering online crossplay, improved visuals, and more. Unfortunately, couch co-op is no longer supported. House co-op is no longer supported. As soon as it said the line that says instead Crystal Chronicles offered 4-player local co-op that required the use of the Game Boy handheld as well as link cables, it kind of make me wonder. Put in my mind, I think this might be the first Final Fantasy game I played. And actually, like, the only Final Fantasy game I completed. Like I said, I played a Final Fantasy game, was most likely this one, the, Crystal Chronicles. I played a lot with my brother. I had a blast with my brother. It was fun being able to spend brother's time with my brother. It was great. And even though, like I said, I've naturally gravitated more towards Kingdom Hearts. I've always respected Final Fantasy, and I'll always cherish the time when I played that whatever Final Fantasy game, was probably Crystal Chronicles, with my brother. Anyways, now there's Tales of the Symphonia, which was released in 2003. The GameCube didn't have much in the ways of RPGs, but Namco rectified that with a handful of releases. Tales of Symphonia was easily one of the system's most notable, thanks to the memorable cast of characters and enjoyable combat. A remaster of Symphonia released on Nintendo Switch in early 2023, but unfortunately the remaster was based on the inferior PS2 port. While the performance leaves a bit to be desired, Tales of Symphonia remains an excellent RPG and well worth checking out for longtime fans, as well as those who that haven't experienced it yet. And now we're getting to a classic that I feel like everyone has probably played the arcade to at some point, but it's Pac-Man. Specifically, Pac-Man Versus, which was released in 2003. Like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, Pac-Man Versus was one of the several games meant to showcase what could be done by linking Game Boy Advance handhelds to the GameCube. A multiplayer game for 2 to 4 players, Pac-Man Versus had one player look at the GameCube screen as Pac-Man, while the ghosts have a limited view on the TV screen. Designed by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto, which I do apologize if I mispronounced the name. Pac-Man Versus offered a unique take on the arcade. The game is currently available on the Switch through Namco Museum, and a free multiplayer version of Pac-Man Versus is offered on the eShop right here. Yes! Yes! This next game, oh my god. This next review is like, I say yes because I actually played it. I'm still so shocked that it's still going on. But I played it, and that's the first Pac-Man. And not only are they bringing back the first Pac-Man, they're bringing back the second one. I'm surprised I never played the sequel. But oh my god, this is exciting news for me because I love Pikmin. Pikmin 1 and 2. I love playing the Pikmin game. Like with that Final Fantasy game that I mentioned earlier, Pikmin was one of those games where I played with my brother, and I generally enjoy the shit out of this game. Oh. Fond memories. So Pikmin 1 came out in 2001 and Pikmin 2 came out in 2004. Released shortly after the system itself, the original Pikmin quickly proved to be one of the GameCube's most compelling exclusives. Pikmin 2 followed a few years later, introducing players to 2 new Pikmin types, and adding 2-player competitive mode. The 2 games were given HD remasters in June of this year, so last month, allowing players to enjoy all the numbered entries in the series on one platform. A physical bundle containing both games will release in September. Oh, a physical bundle, dude. I might have to actually get that. I might actually have to get that because, like I said, I played Pikmin 1 and I have so many fond memories over it. Uh, I would so love to play this again and be able to play the first game for the very first. I mean, the second game for the very first time. I'm probably going to rage a little bit, but I don't care. Relive my childhood right there. Reliving my childhood. The next game is Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life, which was released in 2003. The Harvest Moon franchise has been a staple for Nintendo Switch, a staple of Nintendo systems, since the Super Nintendo era. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is often considered one of the best games in the series, and was one of several GameCube games that featured Game Boy Advance connectivity. Remake of the game released on Nintendo Switch in June 2023, but due to legal reasons, goes by the new series title, Stories of Seasons. Okay. I wonder, like, what happened to make them having to legally change the name. That might be a video, like that might be a topic worth going over in one video. Who knows? But if you guys know, feel free to let me know, to educate me, because I'm actually ignorant when it comes to that. I don't think I ever played Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. Ever. So, anyways, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, the Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. Okay, I guess the first game came out in 2002. The second came out in 2004. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger released during an era where 3D platforms were still trying to replicate the success of N64 classics like Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. Ty starred in 3 games released for the GameCube, and 2 of those have received remasters on Nintendo Switch. The Ty and the Tasmanian Tiger games never found a huge following, but both Switch remasters have been fairly well received, which should be good news for those that enjoy the GameCube versions, or just fans of the games. Okay. And the next game is Cell Damage, was released in 2002. Cell Damage is a vehicular combat game featuring cartoon-inspired characters. Players duked it out in 13 different arenas, and there are 10 playable characters to choose from. The game also featured the kind of cel-shaded visuals that Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker would come to be known for, though the graphics aren't nearly as impressive. Okay. I'm looking at a screenshot, and it kind of looks like what the Sly Cooper franchise would have potentially have looked like if it came out on like the Game Boy or something. A bit like, or like, you know what I mean? Like, it does, like, the graphics kind of reminds me of Sly Cooper a little bit. Which, by the way, I know Sly Cooper's like a PlayStation franchise, but I am still waiting for the 5th game in the series, Sucker Punch, and the movie that you guys promised us that was supposed to be released in 2016. Where the hell is it? I don't know. Anyways. Now we're seeing a game called 13, which was released in 2003. Shell shading was all the rage in the GameCube era, and 13 was another game that used the graphic style. Based on the French comic series of the same name, the game presentation set it apart from a lot of other first-person shooters of the market. 13 received a remake in 2020, though reception was quite poor. However, the remake did receive a massive overhaul in 2022, meant to address several issues, including problems with bugs and AI. Hopefully, the current build is a lot more enjoyable for those that spent time with the GameCube, on the GameCube. The next one, was probably will butcher on accident, so sorry, is Ikaruga, which was released in 2003. Shoot 'em up games are an acquired taste, but Ikaruga is often considered one of the best of the best. Developers by Treasure Ikaruga often makes lists of the best games released for the GameCube. The title has been ported to the number of platforms over the years, and the faithful versions can be found on Nintendo Switch with some nice quality of life improvements. Most importantly, the game offers a vertical screen option that can be used in the Switch tabletop mode. It has a tabletop mode and I didn't even know about it? Oh, someone has told me what tabletop mode is on the Switch. Anyways, the next game is Batting Kaido's Eternal Wing and the Lost Ocean. Batting Kaido's Origin. The style kind of reminds me of a little bit of Soul Calibur. Like Soul Calibur 2. Was that how Soul Calibur 2 had a PlayStation release which had Spawn, and like a Nintendo release which had Link as their guest stars. But yeah, just from this image, the look of the Batting Kaido's game kind of reminds me of Soul Calibur a little bit. Was the Batting Kaido's released in 03 and the sequel released in 06. Before the studio became known for the Xenoblade Chronicles games, Moliosoft developed two RPGs for the GameCube, Batting Kaido's Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean, and the prequel title Batting Kaido's Origins. A remaster is currently set to release in September 2023, offering both games in one package alongside a number of improvements. Okay. And the next, I guess this now we're under special mentions. Okay. So, Super Mario Sunshine in 2020, Nintendo celebrated the 35th anniversary for the Mario franchise with Mario 3D All-Stars. The collection introduced Super Mario Sunshine's marking the first time the GameCube had ever released on another platform. Unfortunately, the collection was a limited times release and is no longer available for purchase. Those that want collection will have to purchase it physically from the secondary market, where it tends to command a bit more than its original MSRP. Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I believe that's the GameCube. Duh, we were talking about GameCube. Nintendo has never ported the fighting game favorite to another platform, but most of Super Smash Bros. Melee's content lives on through Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Although Melee playable characters are available in Ultimate, as are several stages, the game also still supports the use of GameCube controllers, which I'm happy about. Mario Kart Double Dash. Like Super Smash Bros. Melee, Mario Kart Double Dash has never appeared on another Nintendo system. However, several racers and tracks have made it into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Sadly, Double Dash unique 2 racer per kart mechanics has never been replicated by another Mario Kart game. Super Monkey Ball. Oh, I remember Super Monkey Ball. I played the first one on the GameCube with my brother too, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Super Monkey Ball and Super Monkey Ball 2, the first two Super Monkey Ball games, were big hits on the GameCube, which neither game has gotten a straight port to Switch. I hope one day they will do, because I would love to play the Super Monkey Ball game. I will buy it and play it for nostalgia's sake. Kind of like how I got the Cowabunga collection for the Ninja Turtles. Anyways, Sega's Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania contains a significant amount of content from both games. That's everything GameCube on the Switch so far. So, sorry, I felt like I was about to sneeze. But the game I think I'll probably be the most excited for is the Pikmin game, because out of all those games I've seen, Pikmin I have the most special place in my heart for, and I would so love to play Pikmin again. See if I still have the same skills as a little kid for some me had to the game, or if the adult me is gotten way better at video games in general, where I could somewhat easily beat Pikmin and then play the second game, because I never played the second game. But yeah, Pikmin is probably the game I'm most excited for. But out of all those GameCube games that were announced to be on the Switch, which game are you most excited for? Let me know in the comment section down below. I will have the link to this article in the pinned comments, not pinned comments, description down below. So if you beautiful people want to read it yourselves, you guys can. You guys don't have to look it up. All you have to do is look in the description. That said, let me know how you guys feel about this article. Let me know which game that was announced is speaking to you the most, that got you the most excited. With that said, love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I will talk to you fellow mutants later.